You want to move to Columbus, Ohio. Have you ever wondered what a budget can get you at $300,000, $500,000, or even $1 million? I'm going to break it down for you with real examples and kind of walk you through a video of some of these houses in the area in those price ranges. So if you stick around, you're going to get a look into what you can get in Columbus. If this is the first time of the channel, please like, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications. All my information is in the description box below. And my name is Billy Fristo, and I'm a local realtor here in the Columbus market. And if you're looking to buy here or sell here in Columbus, reach out. I'd love to help you. We get calls every day from people just like you looking to make a move to Columbus. So if you're thinking about moving here in 9 or 90 days, chances are we can find you something. And I'd love to help you make that smooth transition here to Columbus. And as always, just call Billy and let's get into these price points here in Columbus, Ohio. So based on these price points, let's start with $300,000. You know, it's a common price point for people moving or maybe a more expensive market to the Columbus market. You can find homes in the $300,000 range. You're looking at mostly a 3-bed, 2-bath home, maybe 1,400 to 1,800 square feet. Probably built in the early 1990s up to the 2000s maybe. And some of the areas that offer some of these homes, a few of those suburbs are on the east side of Columbus and a couple here on the west side. So we're gonna do work with Zillow on this. And I'm just gonna get into some of these 3 examples of some houses in the $300,000 range. And I'll show you the area that it's in, just so you can have an idea of where you'd be looking when you give me a call. Let's start with the $300,000 range and let me give you a few examples and the areas that they're in. So here's a good one, $330,000. This one is in Dublin, 3 beds, 2 baths. So 1,380 square feet. So this one is a nice house, Dublin schools. So you're in the northwest corner of Columbus. You know, you're still in Dublin. You're right on the border of Dublin and Hilliard right here. Great area, Dublin schools. This would be a great choice if $300,000 is your budget. So here's one that's $310,000. Coming soon. This one is in Worthington, and you're looking at $310,000, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,290 square feet. So almost, 1,300 square feet. As you can see, it's been, it looks like it's been, updated a bit. So great choice if $300,000 is your budget. In Worthington, again, I've done videos on all of these suburbs on the north side of Columbus. So if you're looking to find out where exactly everything is, you can check out those videos. I've done them. This one's in Worthington. I've done neighborhood vlogs of Worthington, pros and cons of Worthington. And I've done pros and cons of, all the other suburbs as well. So if you're looking to make that move to Columbus, reach out, shoot me a text, email, call me. Love to help you out in that move. But let's get back to this. So like I said, Worthington right here. It's pretty much right in the middle of North Columbus, close to everything right here, shopping. Schools are great in Worthington as well, so that's another bonus. So just another option in the $300,000 range. Here we go. Let's do one over eastern side of, northeastern side of Columbus. So here we go, 3 beds, 2 baths, a little over 1,200 square feet. As you can see, nice inside. Looks like they really have, kept it up nicely. So another great option in that $300,000 range as well. So you're gonna be in Westerville schools. So that's, that's good because Westerville is another great school district. So here's, just another option if you're looking in the $300,000 range. Let me pull it, drag it out a little bit, and so you can kind of see the map on this as well. Northeast side of Columbus, New Albany's right here. Worthington is right here. So we've looked at 3 in the $300,000 range. 1 in Westerville here, 1 in Worthington here, and 1 over here in the Dublin area. So Those are, all great school district, great options if your budget's $300,000. So let's bump it up to the $500,000 range and see, what we're looking at. Now that you've seen what's offered in the $300,000 range, let's bump it up a little to the $500,000 range. So now we're talking about move up territory. And at this price point, you can expect houses maybe in the 4-bedroom range, 2.5 baths, maybe 2,200 square feet to 3,000 square feet. It's gonna be a little bigger of a house, some new construction houses, and updated homes that have been updated. Great neighborhoods. You're gonna be looking in the Hilliards, maybe into Dublin, Lewis Center, Westerville, even Worthington. So a little more options as you bump up a level. So, if we're in the $500,000 range, some of these homes, like I said, could be new construction or they've been, updated, remodeled. But we're gonna work with Zillow, and I'll show you a few examples of some homes in the $500,000 range here in Columbus. We're bumped up from 300. I did a boundary of 450K to 550K, so we're hovering right around that $500,000 budget. So let's take a look at a few of these and see where we're at. Here we are. We're in Powell. Powell is a great area, great schools, Olentangy School District, one of the best in Ohio. So, 500,000 your price range, you're gonna get some good options here as well. So, look at this, 475, 3 beds, 3 baths, a little over 2,100 square feet. As you can see, everything looks to be nicely kept up. Nice flooring right here, as you can see, in Powell, one of the best school districts, Olentangy, that you can find. So even if your budget's $500,000, there's so much you can, do with that here in Columbus. The value is there. These homes are gonna have open concept layouts, they're gonna have larger yards, so everything you're gonna get, the value is gonna be there. So like I said, here's one. Let's go try another one in a different area. Well, here we go. Let's do this. We got 539.9, 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,300 square feet. So we're getting a little bigger. As you can see, there's a back deck on this one, and you're in Dublin. Dublin is one of the best school districts in Ohio. Definitely the #1 school district in Columbus. So if your budget's 500K, you're gonna be sitting pretty, in Dublin. There definitely are options. Again, options for everybody. So especially if you're moving from out of town, please call me, text me, email me, drop a comment. I'd love to help you make a move here. So let's keep going and check out one more house that's in the $500,000 range down here in Upper Arlington. Upper Arlington is another great community, great schools, close to Ohio State, close to downtown, close to a lot of things. But you're looking at under 500,000 here for 4 bed, 2 bath, over 2,100 square feet. So again, value, awesome. A little bit older house, however, inside has been updated, really nice. So another great option in Upper Arlington if your budget's around 500,000. And again, great schools, there's shopping, local restaurants, lots to do. If your budget's in the $500,000 range, we just went through a few, definitely something for everybody here in Columbus, no matter what your budget is. And let's keep it moving. Now, let's talk $1 million price range. In Columbus, $1 million will still go a long way as compared to some of the bigger cities in the US. $1 million will go a long way. You're likely looking at a home that is gonna be 4 to 6 bedrooms, maybe 3 to 6 bathrooms, probably upwards 3,000, the higher ends of the 3,000 square feet, over 4,000 square feet. So you're looking at a substantially bigger home. You're gonna have custom finishes, again, some new construction. You're gonna have, luxury. You're gonna have updated kitchens, chef's kitchens, and some of the areas where, you're looking at price tags in the millions. New Albany, definitely Dublin, Powell, Jerome Village, which is still in the Dublin School District, and even into Upper Arlington, where homes are, over $1 million consistently as well. So there are definitely options. Reach out, let me know, drop a note in the comment of your budget, and I could send you a few houses, if that's something you'd be interested in. Let's look at these houses that are probably nines, maybe up to $1 million, but I'll show you a few examples and where they're located. Let's go up here to Dublin, which is close to Muirfield Village. So here we are. This is luxury range, 990K. Like I said before, you're looking at over $400,000. You're looking at 4 to 6 plus bedrooms, maybe 3 to 6 plus bathrooms. So this fits the criteria, and we're at 990,000. You're going to be in Dublin schools, the #1 school district. So this is what you can get in that close to $1 million range. Great options here in Dublin. This one has only been on the market for 4 days, so I imagine it may go fast. We'll see if it's priced to sell. It looks like a very nice house, nice neighborhood. Landscaping's well taken care of. So you're looking like you have nice, hardwood, look like real wood, which definitely is more expensive. Nice lighting, catwalk right here, overlooking the living room. Look, nice updated kitchen, as you can tell by, the backsplash, the stainless steel, the cabinets. That's a good option in the luxury market. 990,000 up in Dublin, great option. Let's take a look at a couple more. So here is what looks to be newer construction, and we're at 875,000 up in Delaware, Ohio, which is just north of Lewis Center, and kind of butts up to Powell. You're looking at 4 beds, 4 baths, almost 5,000 square feet, 4748, built in 2012, so 13 years old. But as you can see, still nice modern touches. It's got a pool, and you're looking, almost 900,000. As you can see, the neighborhood right here, everyone keeps everything looking nice. Look at that backyard, fire pit going right up to the pool. That is luxury right there. So as you can tell by fixtures, dining room lighting, super modern, updated kitchens. This may be the original kitchen, but it's still super modern, nice dark cabinets. They even have a wine fridge right here, nice island with some bar seating, stainless steel appliances. So you're in that, $800,000 to $900,000 range. Finishes are great, values there. So again, depends on what your budget is. There's something for everybody. Let's take a look at one more. Let's head out close to New Albany here. New Albany's it's one of those communities where everything is like has a Georgian feel. I've done videos on New Albany, pros and cons, and done some neighborhood vlogs about New Albany as well. I've done them on everything: Westerville, Powell, Delaware, any suburb you can think of in North Columbus, with this as being the Living in North Columbus YouTube channel. I've done videos on all of those, so you can check those videos out too, after you watch this one. But here we are, New Albany. You're gonna have that Georgian feel, which pretty much is, a symmetrical type of house where you're gonna have boom, boom. See the windows right here? There's 4 equally spaced out. The whole community, is surrounded by, white fences, plank fences. It's just a very clean, very classy look. But this house is 950. It's a little smaller than the other ones we looked at. 3 beds, 3 baths, a little over 3,000 square feet. But you're paying for the neighborhoods. You're paying for the, the lifestyle. New Albany is a little bit more expensive than some of the other areas, but the quality of life is great. Let's check the interiors on this one too. Hardwood floors, dark hardwood floors, nice hardwood up the stairs, classic look. Looks like, nice covered porch there. Again, super clean lines, dark wood. I like how dark wood, looks. Nice modern kitchen. Looks like quartz countertops, stainless steel, nice cabinets, nice fixtures. So you're looking at luxury again. So if you're looking in that, above $700,000 to $1 million range, it can definitely help you get into something, but the value is going to be there. As you can see, there's a lot of areas we can look at when it comes to, things in that price point. So what's the takeaway? Columbus has something for every kind of budget that you could imagine, especially compared to some of the bigger cities, here in the United States. Columbus has a lot to offer. The value is there, better. Whether you're buying your first home, whether you're buying your forever home, there's something for everybody here in the Columbus market. So if you're thinking about moving to Columbus, or you're just curious about what your budget can get you here in the Columbus market, drop a comment below and I can shoot you a couple neighborhoods and even a couple listings that I think would work for you. And as always, just call Billy. I'd love to help you make that smooth transition. So let's hope to see you around Columbus.